It's NTT IndyCar Race Weekend, and you know what that means. Of course you do. When they race, it means we race first. And it's time for some top split action of the 2024 IndyCar iRacing Series. Hello, good everyone. I am Gary Gasso. Welcome to Round 8 of the 2024 Championship today. As today we come to you from the, I guess what they're calling it is the U.S. National Park of Speed now. Pretty cool. Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. With coverage sponsored by 4D Racewear, as always. Joining me in the booth. Well, not always, because I had to go to the bench again. But it's my when you normally need a solid pinch hitter, you always go to your best bench guys, and so it's Mark Murphy joining me, who was in this race yesterday for IAR. It's got some good reconnaissance for us, and Clindy, who is my chief, I guess, pit strategist. I mean, he just nails every single call he makes. So, guys, welcome to the race course that just about every IndyCar driver loves. Mark, starting with you, Murph. Let's get into this thing. 3:21 left here to play in qualifying, and wow, watching Ben Dickey go way out of bounds over there in turn 5. I guess that out of bounds is no longer a thing anymore, huh? But guys, let's get into this thing. First, your initial thoughts here, and what do you expect coming up here? Long race, 55 laps, 4 miles around this course.
It is a long race. As you mentioned, Gary, almost every IndyCar driver, even road racing neophytes like myself, love this course. I expect, honestly, to see two things today. The first is guys being very, very mindful about fuel. There are very specific fuel windows that have to be hit here in order to avoid an extra pit stop. We'll get into that a little bit later. And the other thing is the draft. You're going to see guys with differing fuel settings. You're going to have guys on low downforce, guys on high downforce, and so it's going to be almost a draft train at the front, I expect, at least for a little bit, and then we'll see who can save the gas and go from there.
As Mark said, this is not a short race. It's going to be just a hair over 220 miles. So if you get, about 5 miles a gallon, you're looking at 44 gallons of fuel. You divide that by the 18.5 capacity, and you're looking at 2.5 stops. I don't think you can get 5 miles a gallon. 5 miles a gallon is like an oval-only number. So I'm thinking stopping 3 times in the pits is going to be the minimum, and you've got to save to get there. Murph gave us some magic numbers earlier in the pre-race discussion. I'm not sure if he's ready to share, but I'm not going to steal his thunder and take that strategy call from him. But it is imperative, if you want to save fuel, to run behind others and engine map down on these straights. They are long, and they will guzzle your fuel cell empty faster than you would even think they could. It's hot, it's soupy, it's humid, it's Wisconsin in June. Welcome to summer, everyone. Welcome to Road America.
So those fuel numbers that we were talking about, the magic laps are 13 laps on reds, and you want to do 14 laps on the blacks. The blacks are going to be the preferred tire for most, if not all, of the field. As Clindy mentioned, it is hot, it is humid, it is soupy. The red tires are really only good for about 8 laps. If you happen to be one of the low downforce runners, they're going to fade quicker than that. So look for these guys to either run the reds first or last, depending on how they've got it set up. You want to do at least 14 laps on blacks. And if you can somehow make 3.3 miles to the gallon, you may be able to stretch it to 15 laps on your black stint. And if you can do that, we're probably going to see at least one person try it where they start the race on the black tires, stay in the draft, save. Because if you can somehow make it 15 laps on 3 red stints, that means that you can get 10 or 3 black stints. That means you can get 10 laps on light fuel for your reds at the end. And you will have, and basically they'll be good for you for the entire run. So, going to be some varying strategies. Best places to pass here. We're going to be looking at turn 1. So the run down to turn 1. Also turn 5, the hard left-hander there. Turn 12, which is Canada Corner. That's a fast run. You come out of turn 8, you blast around the carousel through the kink, which is technically turn 11, down the backside of the kart track, and you're hitting almost 200 miles an hour as you brake from 6th gear down to 1st for Canada Corner. So looking for those areas as well, boys.
All right, we are gridding up, and wow, this is going to impact fuel mileage, something that we really don't talk about. The full parade or pace lap.
Yeah, we were complaining about
4 miles.
Yeah, you're gonna be shutting this thing off going down the hill. You climb the hill, going up the main straight. Thankfully, you start at the top of the hill. They put you on the track at the top of the hill, so you're gonna be fuel late until you get to the other side of turn 3, and really the other side of turn 1. There is a turn 2 in there, but it's not really a turn. And then you're going to shut the thing off and coast all the way down the hill because you can't spare the fuel.
All right, and let's get this starting lineup in here. We got plenty of time, though, so bringing it up to now. Yoni Heikkinen. And we were trying to figure out how to say his name last race, and I think we decided that we would go with Heikkinen with a 141.6. Aero Antilla. I love that name. So I guess if he has understeer, he has aero push. All right, just disregard me. Sorry, 141.8. For Aero there in P2. Alex VDS. Has been a while since we've seen him on the show, but he's brought that power slide entry to 3rd. Kevin Burrell, who has been hot here in practice, but is on the 2nd row here, is P4. Alan Boutreau, who won one of the splits earlier in the week. I just happened to peek in on someone else's live streaming from their point of view. Boutreau is 5th. Matsuda in the Dixon livery. Dixon has a pretty good record here. It's P6. Rashad Craig, good showing there for the IAR star. He is 7th. Anders Sandberg, we saw in qualifying there, 8th. Seb Alexander going to be right behind his teammate there at IAR in 9th. And Miko Kaikoto, hope I'm saying that right, P10. I believe that's their first appearance here on the Top Split broadcast, so welcome. Simon Demore. What's that?
It's Kaito.
Kaito. I don't have the Latin tongue, and I don't have the Asian tongue either.
It's quite all right, Gary. I will say this.
I am Midwestern.
Faster. I will say this. We are faster in the sim than the IndyCar track record right now. Will Power owns the IndyCar track record in the DW12 Aero Kit era 142.892. So
I think that's the race record. Are you sure? We'll discuss that here. Let me get the rest of this lineup in. Ben Dickey is in 12th. Jesper Orman 13th. Juho Rana, 14th. They all coming down through 5, going up the hill into that blind 6th corner. That was one of my least favorite turns here. AJ Musselman making an appearance here on the Top Split, 15th. Giro and Cena 16th. Sam Fitzpatrick 17th. John McCutcheon 18th. Brian Carey, haven't seen him in a while on the Top Split. Welcome back, 19th. Matt Shimko in 20th. And McGill Vila, 21st. Hamilton Barrera Ruiz is in 20th. Antonio, the week that you leave, Antonio is on assignment tonight. He'll be back here late in the following week. Ivan Platten is 23rd. Aleski Sezlev is 24th, and Jason Green 25th. And then also we got one more name on the list that's not showing is Robert Malechka, starting 27th. And I'm not sure if he just didn't load in or something, but RM3, the king of Indianapolis, currently shown in 27th.
Neither Phil Kraus nor Robert Malechka took times in qualifying, so either they deliberately wanted to start at the back, or as sometimes happens here, you drop a wheel off, you get a 0x, it kills your time. So it is possible that they both dropped a wheel or something into the grass and got their times nuked. The
Murph,
longest pace lap ever.
Yeah, is it possible that Malechka is not loaded into the sim yet because he wanted to save the fuel from pacing and instead will start from pit road?
That is a valid strategy here. Although Malechka's not. You're right. He's not even in the sim. Phil Kraus is on the track at the back, so that would indicate to me Rob may be experiencing some sort of technical glitch, maybe.
Mechanical.
They're coming off. Yeah, well, they're getting ready. They're through Canada Corner now. So
yeah,
if he doesn't get in here, soon. He's going to be in trouble.
It's been a very brisk pace lap too. But two teammates on the front row just noticed, so that's going to be interesting. Coming up to green.
And away we go. The race is on at Road America. Joni Heikkinen jumps in the lead over Aero Antilla. Van de Zandt third. Kevin Burrell fourth. Clean and green at the front as we head toward turn one. Everybody through. Everybody made it. And RM3 does get into session. And coming off the pit road now, so he's going to be about 20 seconds behind the leader, 15 seconds behind his buddy Phil Kraus.
Nice and clean through turn 5. No big lockups or damage as we approach the carousel.
Yeah, and so one of the things I'm going to watch here real quick, Anders, you've got, I can't talk. Anders Sandberg, Seb Alexander, the first two cars on red tires, as it were. AJ Musselman also on the reds, if my eyes aren't deceiving me. The vast majority of these guys elected to start on the black, so that tells me that they're all thinking about going as long as possible for those first three stints. Save the reds for the end. Maybe we'll get a break to cool off. Alexander way down underneath. That's on Simon Morey there. But move Seb up to ninth. He'll take that away from DeMori. We're through lap one, guys.
And just so long here, the laps. I love this racetrack. It's good that North America really has one of these really long, iconic road courses that seem to be dotted all over Europe. But here is Burrell taking a look to the inside, coming into 5, and Alex just slits him on by.
Yeah, that's a fuel-saving move from Alex. Have either of you guys actually been up here to a race?
No.
Just curious.
Not yet.
It is picturesque. Does not do the place justice. It's just a gorgeous facility, a gorgeous place to watch a race. This and Watkins Glen, of course, the two most iconic American road courses. Unlike the Glen, though, this one is completely unspoiled by chicanes. So please, Herman Tilke, never come here.
No chicanery.
No
They have
chicanes.
that little extra.
Yeah, there is that little. We just saw there in the camera shot right in the background. There is that little bit of a hump coming out of the right before the kink, coming out of the carousel that you can add.
Extra long kink.
Yeah, you can add on as an extension to the course. And Seb Alexander off in the kitty litter and getting squirrely. Ben Dickey moving around him.
It's for the bikes. So that little section that you see in there after the carousel, that's for the motorcycles because they don't want them going through the kink flat out.
And there you see at the top of the screen there, Rashad Craig, 144.717 purple lap. So anytime someone sets the purple lap, it will show up right here at the top of the screen, as well as next to their name on the tree. So we're always tracking that.
Well, gentlemen, Phil
indeed.
Kraus
Something
has
else.
completed... Sorry, Murph.
No, go ahead. Finish it. No, finish the thought.
I was going to say, we have completed 2 laps. We're on lap 3, and Philip Kraus has already gone up 8 positions, and he's hungry for more. Turn 5, we've got someone off.
Yeah, and we had a battle between Brito and Sandberg. That almost resulted in a little bit of wheel banging, but moved Brito up to 7th. Sandberg now back down to 8th.
We have an ongoing scrap near the back. Phil Kraus is now moving around Jesper Orman to the outside. That's going to be for
17th.
17th.
Yep.
These guys are hot and heavy though. All of them on blacks. All of them saving gas. Miguel Villa is on the reds. You got Musselman kind of edging away from this train a little bit on his reds, kind of pulling him along, and Phil hyper aggressive. Joe Reyna, the next up on the hit parade for Phil Kraus.
So the top 10 in terms of who's on what tire, only Sandberg and your teammate Alexander are on the alternate tire. Everyone else is on the prime in the top 10 right now.
Yeah, and that's kind of what Seb had said. He wanted to get the Reds out of the way. And again, 2 schools of thought. There are definitely 2 schools of wing angles here. Some of these guys are really light on downforce. We see a car at the front dropping the wheel off into the grass there, kicking up dust. But 2 schools of thought: trim the thing out, be a bullet in a straight line, put the downforce on, and be quicker through the corners. It's really 6 one way, half dozen the other. We had our choices as a team anywhere from full wing all the way down. So you're going to have multiple different strategies just in how the cars are set up. Seb under a lot of fire there.
And that is right behind him is a
Making
teammate
ground,
of the
though.
leaders. And we're gonna go 2x2 in the turn 8. So Miko is one of the teammates to the leaders, and an identical livery there. So I'm not sure who this squad is, but welcome to them, man. They've sure shown up strong today. I believe we've seen Heikkinen before. I don't think we've seen the other 2 on the Top Split broadcast. So first of all, welcome. And second of all, hope to see more of them in some of these Top Split broadcasts. I'm not sure how often they drive the car, though, so we'll see what strategy they decide to go for. Simon DeMori, Sam Fitzpatrick, and Gino Encinas there in a battle.
This is a heck of a scrap. That's what I'm watching. Clint, you got anything else out there?
I'm watching from Seb Alexander, watching backwards, and I'm just counting down the seconds until Phil Kraus catches his attenuator.
Well, there is Seb.
Yeah.
And there is Phil, who is right behind Simon DeMori. And DeMori's going to take the defensive line, and so he's going to try to go to outside. DeMori in that Aero McLaren livery.
Which is almost as bad as Red Bull liveries when it comes to Indy cars.
Well, no, it's an Aero. It's Aero McLaren. It's an IndyCar livery.
It's an IndyCar. We need to retire the Kyle Larson McLaren.
Yes, we do 100%. That needs to be retired.
I don't get the hate, man. I mean, brings a ton of eyes from NASCAR to IndyCar. Don't you want these guys tipping their toes in and finding the best car in the service? I'm a convert from NASCAR. Others like me can join too.
I love Kyle Larson. He's not a NASCAR driver to me. He's a sprint car driver.
Kraus just got into...
Yeah, Encinas.
That was... Yeah, Encinas.
Yeah, be careful, Phil. He's fast. He's faster than the leader. When he's able to.
How is he saving fuel? He's not.
In the draft, Gary. He's saving it in the draft.
Oh! Contact! And there goes
Miko.
Miko off into the.
He's just, renewing his visa, taking a nice trip to Canada.
Well, that is the legend of Canada Corner right there. So there's 2 thoughts of Canada Corner. how it got its name. The first thought is
Jesper gets into the side of Jesper got into the side of John McCutcheon there.
Okay, we're on it. We're on it. Here's Brian Carey, the power slide entry right behind Jesper. So power team struggle here towards the mid pack. So the thought on Canada corner after one of the very first race here, one of the promoters were cleaning up the racetrack, and they noticed that there was just a lot of Canadian beer cans in that corner. That's one legend that I think is entirely plausible. The other legend is that is the closest point on the racetrack to Canada. That's a bit of a stretch. It is, but it is a bit of a stretch. So I'm back to that. That's where the Canadians all showed up and decided to leave their beer cans.
I've known some Canadians in my time that are fans of beer. Also fans of racing.
Take off, hey! No way, hey!
I've experienced cold refreshment with quite a few Canadians. Not at Road America though. Indianapolis. There was
Alex Van de Sant side by side battle here for second.
One thing I want to follow up from last lap in that scuffle through Canada corner, Demori lost half of his front wing and pit to replace it and top off the tank and get 4 fresh tires.
And what we're told in the pre-race here by our now road course expert, Mark Murphy, that we have, if you pit any time before, lap 12, right? Your race is done because you still have to pit another time.
Anytime before lap 13.
13, okay.
We've got Sam Fitzpatrick on the pit lane now. You can theoretically make 15 laps, but you'd have to run in Fuel 5, and you're going to be running so slow down these straights in Fuel 5 that it's not worth it. Sam Fitzpatrick on pit lane now. He's up on the jacks.
And currently watching right now, the King of Indianapolis, Robert Malechka III, or King Robert Malechka III. There he is. He swept the weekend at the big broadcasted race. Not to say that our races weren't big and broadcasted, just not as big as broadcast as the other two. He won both those races, the open and the fixed. And I believe after all the hubbub, everyone says that he is the only driver to ever do that in the history, I guess, of those broadcast races. And also, he will also go down in history as the only one to do it on the same weekend, because next weekend, hopefully, we return back to an open weekend and a fixed weekend to kind of spread things out. But that's Robert Malechka. Of course, that earns one of our other drivers that we see here on our channel in the FIS. Caleb Binsey is now known as the King Slayer. He was the only driver in the big high-profile Indy 500 races that happened during the month of May to beat Robert Malechka. So he's the only driver that's managed to put a chink in the Malechka armor, so to speak. But right now, Robert Malechka is the king of Indianapolis. Lord Robert is currently 25th, though, from starting from pit road, having a bit of a mechanical, let's say, black box issue, very similar to what Will Power had in Detroit.
We do have a new leader we have a new leader.
Burrell to the top.
Kevin Burrell. Yeah, he has passed Heikkinen and Antilla, Van de Zandt, and is starting to pull away from that group. He's a second and a half out from Joni Heikkinen. The draft envelope here is exactly what it is on ovals, about 1.8 seconds. So if he can escape that with as big as the draft is going, especially the front stretch, and then that backside from the carousel down to Canada corner, Kevin Burrell might be in really good shape.
Excellent work from the drone operator here.
Watching Kevin navigate through the carousel, down through the kink. There's a bump right there, and something you guys might want to watch during this race, especially on blacks, on cold blacks. The carousel the kink gets really light, and it's very easy if you haven't kept up with your tools or reset your tools at your pit stop. It is very easy to lose the car going through the kink.
Oh, we don't need any Catherine Legg moments there.
I was at that race when she did that, and amazing the safety features on those Lolas They brought that car back by us. We were down at we were watching that race from turn 8, and they brought that car back by us in 5-gallon buckets. I remain amazed to this day that she walked away from that, because that was a hairy incident for sure.
Of course, also another known large incident that happened here, that AJ Foyt, of course, when he was a regular in the kart series, and he would drive all the races, he got in a very bad wreck here in 1990, crushed his legs. They pulled him from the car. A little wide there for Alex. It's going to be under attack of Arrow at the top of the hill. But he managed to recoup and recover to put the car on the front row at Indianapolis in 91. So never rule out Supertex. The man is hard as nails.
Lost his brakes up at Canada Corner, if I remember correctly.
Either Canada Corner or Turn 1. I can't really remember. I have to go back and watch. But it was a very scary wreck. And watching the level of concern on everyone's face, going back and watching an old video of that, everyone was really concerned. They thought it was more than just crushed legs. They thought it was, well, just very simply, I thought it was more. And the thought of losing Supertex to an incident like that, is just, at the time, was unthinkable.
Yeah, and Foyt, tough guy, of course, but again, you're close to 200 miles an hour down there. And if like I said, I remember correctly, he lost his brakes. It was Canada Corner.
Yeah, it was a brake issue. Yep.
Kevin, the lead is stabilized now for Burrell. It's 1 point. He's pulled away a little bit more. He's 1.7 seconds, so he's almost escaped the draft envelope from Heikkinen. Van de Zandt's another 7 to 8 tenths back in third, and then another half a second to Antilla. So things have kind of stabilized here at the front. Everybody's just saving their fuel, keeping their powder dry. I will say this: if you are a sports fan, just in general, I know you guys were watching Indianapolis while we were doing the California 500 and the VOR series. College baseball right now. My hometown.
You're still stuck on that.
The University of Evansville has taken the number 1 ranked Tennessee Volunteers. It's 10-8 now. The bases are loaded for Tennessee. It is the bottom half of the 9th inning. There's 1 out, but Evansville 2 outs away from what would be a dramatic upset and put them 1 game away from the College World Series. And there's a strikeout, so 1 out away now. Base is still full of Volunteers, though.
And while we were talking about AJ, be remiss to not talk about the loss of Parnelli Jones over the last couple of days. That makes, I believe, AJ now the oldest living current Indy 500 champion. Him and Gordon Johncock are right neck and neck there.
Yeah, and Parnelli Jones, a giant in not just IndyCar, but all of car racing. Stock car ace, won heaven knows how many stock car races. Great off-road racer with Big Ollie.
Bill Kraus, purple lap, 144 flat, sorry. Go right ahead.
Surprises nobody. Great off-road racer, Big Ollie, the Olympia beer-sponsored Ford Bronco and the Baja 1000 winner. Formula One team owner for Mario Andretti for a few years. So just a giant of motorsport, Parnelli Jones. Also, probably along with Foyt, one of the toughest people you'll ever see or hear about. Good story about Parnelli Jones was when he won Indianapolis in Old Calhoun. The legend of the leaking oil and Agajanian convincing Harlan Fengler that the level of oil had dropped below the crack in the tank, and Fengler not black flagging Jones. He goes on to win the race over Jim Clark. Eddie Sachs the next day at the banquet continued to refer to Parnelli Jones as Parn-oily, and Parnelli responded with a tasty right hook, to which Sachs's wife stuffed a checkered cloth in Eddie's mouth and said his mouth had been black flagged. Funny story about that. You can read about that in the great book Black Noon if you ever want to read that one.
Almost universal, and we're watching a battle between Yanni and Alex Van de Sant here in the front stretch. I thought Alex was going to get close enough for a move, but he is close enough for a purple lap, 1:43.9 in the draft. Listening to a lot of the eulogies given about Parnelli, just about every single one of the drivers is like, if you beat Parnelli, you know that you had a good day. You beat one of the best. He might not have all the stats, and there is Alex getting around Yanni here for second, going into turn 5. He might not have all of the historic Indy stats and wins of a Mario or of a AJ or even a John Cock or Rutherford, but everyone realized that he was really, his skill kind of superseded a lot of those stats. So it's sad to see him go. He very well could have been and the history of the Indy 500 would be very, very different now if he would have brought that turbine home in '67 with the win over a $6 part failure. That handed the win over to AJ, and then AJ probably, maybe he would have become a 4-time winner eventually. Definitely a 3-time winner. History would have shown that, but would we be only looking at 3 4-time winners now? Maybe would it be Al Sr. would have been the first 4-time winner if the turbine came home as the winner in '67. So just think of all the what ifs if that $6 part did not fail on that turbine car.
Yeah, I mean, Parnelli Jones only had 6 Indianapolis championship car wins, 25 in midgets, and we talked about the stock car and the off-road stuff. One of the most versatile drivers of his era for sure. But he only ran, so here's a stat for you, Gary.
143.8 Kraus, sorry, go right ahead.
He only ran 2 seasons, 62 and 63, where he attempted to race every race on the championship trail. And in '63, he did not qualify at Milwaukee, or the first Milwaukee race. So that should tell you something. He only ran full-time 2 years. And then in the last 3 years of his career, really 65, 66, 67, he only ran Indianapolis, Milwaukee, really Indianapolis and Milwaukee. And then in '67 with the turbine, that was the only time he drove that year in championship cars. And so Andy Granatelli paid him a sizable sum, if memory serves, to come out of retirement and drive that car, supplemented by Firestone, I'm sure. Parnelli Jones, probably one of the most famous endorsers of Firestone tires. But was lured out of retirement with a pretty nice payday to drive that car, and a shame. You're right, absolutely right. Indy would look a lot different than it does today if that car had not broke. Evansville, by the way, did finish off Tennessee, and so we're headed to Game 3 tomorrow.
Evansville!
So, hey, that's kind of a giant killing, right? Evansville is a small school, a couple 3,000 students. Taking it.
We're coming to pit road. We're watching Phil Kraus come to pit road right now. We're riding with him.
Well, Phil comes into service a couple laps ago. We had missed a 4-car incident. Jesper Orman, John McHutchinson, Jero Encinas, and one other driver, Brian Carey, all got together out of Canada corner through the final turn. I think Jesper is done, and so is McHutchinson. Yeah,
we see them currently in the pits and done. And watching Burrell now, lap 14 of 15. So the pit window is open. It's happening right now. Pit stops are occurring. Let's see who has all stopped. Heikkinen, Kraus have stopped. Alexander on pit road. Robert started from pit road, but he shows has already stopped, so he started from pit road on lap 1. Ruiz, Selnev, hopefully I'm saying that right. Miguel Vila on pit road. So those are all active stopped at the moment. So everybody here It's pretty safe to say everybody that's on the racetrack are going to be on pit road here in the next lap or two.
I would say this one, unless you got somebody running around map 5. I went back and looked at the accident with Jesper and that gang. Wasn't actually in Canada corner. It was headed up. It wasn't actually in Canada corner. It was headed up to turn 13. Jesper went to make a move on Encinas. Encinas closed the door.
Okay,
and
Morel pit road. And with that, Alex Van de Sant, sorry. And Bill Hunter says, was turn 1 at Road America. I'm assuming he's talking about AJ. And I think you're right. I think you're right, Bill. I was just trying to remember. I remember I didn't see... it was a different profile of the racetrack when I was watching that old video. It didn't look like Canada corner, but the racetrack has changed over time in terms of the surroundings and what used to be woods and whatnot. So, but here comes basically the entire field to pit road. They need to hit their stop, hit their marks. Well, Malechka started from pit road. He has one more lap on everybody, and there he goes right on by.
So that could play to his advantage later. Obviously, the reason he's doing that, basically the only card he has left to play, really, guys, is go the extra lap. Go the extra lap now so that he can run the Reds short a lap.
Sure. Burrell does get off before everyone else. He's leading that parade off pit road right now. Burrell, Alex Van de Sant, and Tilla, Matsuda, Craig would be your top 5 when the pit stop cycle through, with Malechka making his stop, assumedly, on this is his in lap right here. So we're watching Malechka, who started shotgun on the field. Might have had a mechanical issue leading up to the gridding of the race, and has started 26th.
Circling among tire strategies amongst the front runners, Kevin Burrell is on the blacks. If you look at Alex Van de Sant, he is now wearing the red sidewalled Firestones.
Let me give you a change and overlay on that one. Tell what everyone is on. There you go.
So he's coming. Until it is on the blacks. I believe Matsuda is also on the blacks.
Yep, primary. Your teammate Craig is on the alternate. And
going for the lead. Oh, Kevin, no!
He saved it.
Don't give me a heart attack.
He's good.
Don't
Keep your
don't
foot
do
in it,
that.
driver.
Don't do that. The tires do not like that. Slide them like that.
And this is what Alex needs to do, because he needs to make hay while the getting's good here. He is on the red and needs to pass these cars that are on the slower, at the moment, slower prime tire. There is Malechka. You see him pulling on the pit road. So the lead is now back in the 80 Alex VDS's hands. Kevin Burrell P2 and Tilla now third. Craig moved up to fourth in that little exchange there we just missed here between him and Matsuda. Heikkinen now down to sixth. Kraus up to seventh. Sandberg eighth. In a battle between, actually, now we got Robert coming off of pit road as he continues to fall down the standings. We'll see where he rejoins, though, as we see Encinas side by side with the car coming down into turn 1. Robert rejoins in 16th spot, right ahead of Oleski.
So well done, and he's got a couple of seconds up the road to Seb Alexander, so he's well within the pack now. Alex Van de Sant needs to get going on these Reds. So if Kevin Burrell can stay within the draft, you're going to see about lap 22 or so, you're going to see Alex Van de Sant, depending on how that power slide machine is set up, you're going to see him start to really struggle for grip. And when those Reds start to lose purchase here, they are not fun, and you will see him start to go toward the back. But for right now, he's got to turn it up, make hay while the sun is shining, for sure.
Sure.
And maybe if he's lucky, a cloud will come out and cool the track down, so his Reds will go a little bit longer.
And we will bring up momentarily, we'll bring up the weather here. Trying to clear off some space on another monitor. Getting some statistical info going on here. Here is your weather. Alex Van de Sant, and you said we make hay in the getting while it's good. 143.5 purple lap. Weather is 106. Track temp 67 degrees. Air temp. Of course, all the stats here. I didn't get a chance to read these. we got into too much chatting during the pace lap there, but this is 55 laps, 100% like the pros that you'll see tomorrow. This is a 4-mile road course. It'll be 220 miles. Pit road speed's right at 45, although in the real world IndyCar, they have a 2-stage pit road here. They'll be at a higher speed coming to the line, and then right before you start reaching all of the stalls, there's another speed which they have to lower down to. I believe it's the only pit road in IndyCar racing which has 2-stage pit road limiter. I could be wrong, but I believe it's it. There are 9 splits in race 1. Phil Krause won the top split there. 46-16 was the strength of field. Race 2, Phil Krause won that one with the 47-97. Today we had 12 splits to come into this event. This is the 3rd race of the weekend. There's one more later tonight. And we had a 44-94. So unfortunately, the lowest strength of field is the one we're broadcasting, but that's just kind of how it shakes out sometimes. The IndyCar track records you need to know here. Now, Paul Tracy set the kart track record back here in 2000. That's a 139.6815. So that's the kart turbocharged 2000 era engine and chassis and tire. 139. Colton Herta, actually, because of the repave last season, reset the track record for IndyCar at a 140.8454. So yeah, the old track record was at least set probably during the DW12 era and the aero kit, the big manufacturer aero kits when they had all those wings and everything on them, but prior to 2018. But the repave last year allowed the track record to be broken in this current era of car, and that's Colton Herta with a 140.8454. The career wins leaders here, Mario and Michael each have 3. Emerson has 3. Palou, Newgarden, Dixon, Junqueira, Tracy, Villeneuve, and that is Jacques, not Jacques Sr., but the nephew. The nephew has 2. Now, Senior does have 1. He's one of the one of the early winners here. So the Villeneuve family has 3 here, but 2 to former Formula One Series champion or Formula One world champion Jacques Villeneuve, and then Uncle Jacques got 1 here. The first winner here ever in IndyCar competition was Hector Rabaki. Kind of goes down with a little bit of an asterisk because his one and only IndyCar win, and then after that. He got in a pretty bad wreck at Milwaukee during a test and says, maybe these IndyCars really aren't for me at this point, and decided to kind of walk away while the walking was still good and retired after that. But he did the first win here. That win was not televised. And in fact, it is one of the last 2 non-televised Indy car races in the modern era that we have not seen ever or will ever see. You had to be there or you saw the ESPN news report at the time. The last non-televised, and I thought it was this race. I thought it was the Rabaki race, but I was wrong. I was corrected by some folks on Twitter. Leave it to Twitter to correct you. You know what I mean? But 86 was the last non-televised race here because of that whole season had a ton of races rescheduled, and I guess Road America had to be rescheduled due to a rain out. I guess it rained so bad here that not even with rain tires Indy cars could run here. And they ran it in October, where I believe it was very, very cold. It might even started to snow a little bit, I was told. But it was done on a Sunday that was not televised because all the networks at the time were showing rather show NFL rather than IndyCar racing. And frankly, at the time, I guess you can't kind of blame them. So that was the last non-televised IndyCar race in history, was the Road America race here in 86.
So far, until they do one that's only streamed, and then Amazon Web Services, all their servers crash, and then we'll have another one.
And I will say this.
Go right ahead.
I was going to say, one of the things that you guys might look at, if we can get a good shot of it, is in something that we could put in iRacing probably and speed up. When NASCAR raced here, there is a extension. We were talking about the long pace lap. That pace lap, by the way, took almost 6 minutes for those of you watching at home. After turn 5 at the bottom of the hill, you can go straight and it'll dump you out. There's an escape road now that will dump you out in between turns 13 and 14. So if any of the iRacing devs are watching, Can we get that cutoff for the parade lap? It might help us out quite a bit. Anyway.
Or they could just grid us out past the kink before Canada corner rather than on the front stretch.
Well, you could do, yeah. That's the short pace lap, and basically these cars, if you do the short pace lap when you set the race up, they do grid up, right before Canada corner, and they go through Canada corner, kind of up the hill, and then they start green at the start finish line. There was an actual IndyCar race here. I forget what year it was, but Al Unser Jr. kind of started to the back. And by the way, the Unsers had extraordinarily horrible luck here. Horrible luck. And like in two cases, late in the race, Al Sr. and Al Jr. were leading here, and to have only engine issues take the win away from them. Specifically, I remember Al Jr. taking the white flag and blowing up going into Canada corner to give the race to Michael Andretti. But going back to Al Jr., they did a strategy in that race where I guess they were doing an extra pace lap or parade lap or pacing lap, I'm not sure. But he decided to pull in and stop and top off. And even then, they were kind of talking about, this was back in the mid-'80s, about how that strategy might actually unfold pretty well for him. There's really no secret to the strategies here at Road America, just because it's so long. You have really option A or option B. There's really not a hidden C or a hidden D out there unless you're up to losing a bunch of time on the racetrack.
Or you hit a plethora of full course yellows, which we don't see.
Don't have here, right? Exactly.
Pretty rare to see a full course yellow here in real life too. They do happen occasionally. Well, road racing specialists they are, but it's very rare to see them in these cars here. You almost need a Catherine Legg level incident. Where there's damage to the circuit, because there's ample runoff room, ample facilities to get the cars out of the way and off the track if they stall. And really, they don't. Even if you go off here, you don't tend, except in very certain areas, you don't tend to hit anything. You just kind of go off in the gravel, and they push out or crane you off. Really, the only areas to really hit something harder, 5 and 8 probably. Canada corner, turn 1. But even turn 1 has a ton of runoff. So, very rare to see a full course yellow in these things.
Well, if you'd like to see some bona fide road experts in NASCAR make bonehead decisions on track, Jacques Villeneuve, the winner in IndyCar here, made several attempts in the Xfinity car, or the nationwide chassis at the time, and made a fool of himself. It was fun to watch, that's for sure, but did not make a lot of friends.
Oh, Alex power sliding it, just like the name says on the side of his car, through turn 14 there. I'm glad we got Bill Hunter here in chat. I can tell he's a bit of an IndyCar historian and remembers quite a bit of stuff like I do. And so he can always fact check me. I do appreciate someone else in chat being able to bring up some of these stats in history.
I've got a stat from this live race we're watching right now. Alex Van de Zand is 1.7 seconds slower per lap now. We have hit the cliff on the tires.
We're watching him right now, watching Kevin Burrell get really, really close now.
Yeah, Kevin was 0.7 a lap quicker on that last lap. And he will be by Alex here probably in the next couple. The Red's not the best solution to be out there long term. You're rocket fast for 7-8 laps, but that thing is starting to come back, and we're gonna see poor old Alex Van de Zand start to fall backwards. The other car in the top 4 that's on the Reds is Rashad Craig. He and Van de Zand are doing identical lap times to the 10,000th of a second that last time around. If that tells you anything, Van de Zand a couple of tenths quicker on outright pace, but Rashad and Alex 45, 265, 7 the last time through. Rashad 145, 265, 9.
Watching AJ Musselman coming off of pit road here. Not sure what happened to AJ to have to kind of cycle through on a different strategy. Or maybe this is a strategy call. I'm not sure. I didn't see any damage get repaired, but he is rejoining the field back in 23rd. Finish your thought. Go right ahead.
No, it's just interesting that the two of them are on identical, literally identical lap times, and Kevin Brella is hauling in Van de Zandt pretty quickly.
Watching him right now.
That time he's within a second. I didn't see Musselman hit anything. Didn't see him go off, so he was on primary tires.
He only went 14 laps on his second stint, so we're getting into maybe he had to stop early on an issue before that. Now he shows he's on his out lap. So stint 2 says 14. Maybe had an incident.
So that's not optimum.
No,
not optimum. Clindy and I were talking before the race. If you don't make it, you've got to do three 14 lap runs and one 13 lap run to make this. So now AJ has guaranteed himself an extra pit stop, unfortunately.
Alechka up to 13th.
Same way with Sam Fitzpatrick. He's going to be on that plan as well.
Okay.
Those two guys are in for a day of that extra stop.
All right. All right.
So are Craig and Masuda, because Phil Kraus has caught them, and I don't think he wants to slow down anytime soon.
We'll watch this battle. Let's take care of some business. If you're just joining us, you're watching round 8 of 16 of the Saturday Top Split, sponsored by 4D Racewear, of the IndyCar iRacing Series, coming to you today from Road America, where we've completed 23 of 55 scheduled laps. So if you're enjoying today's coverage and would like to monetarily support our commentary team, please do so. It really means a lot to us if you could donate. We do these for free on behalf of the IndyCar community as we're watching Matsuda get even closer to Craig going up the hill. I would suspect he's probably going to be on the button. Nope, not yet. But he's going to pull out and take a pass. We're going to go 3 wide, boys, going in the 1. If you've liked this action, please take a look at our GoFundMe page and donate. And Phil picks up one more spot.
He should make quick work of Craig here, who's on those hot reds, just like Burrell will of Van de Zandt here, probably in turn 5.
Yeah, and so what happens isn't so much the grip going in the corner, it's the rear.
Here he is, in 5, Kraus to the inside, and clear. And get a little squirrely coming off the corner, but keeps it under control. Up the hill, got this blind left-hander, one of my least favorite corners here. I think it is my least favorite corner here. So move now Kraus up to 4th, up 22 spots. And there's still time. There's still plenty of time for Kraus to get up to that lead. He is consistently turning laps faster than everybody else on the racetrack. Although Van de Zandt does have the purple lap at the moment. Watching Matsuda take a look to the inside of Craig there, going into the kink.
Yeah, we're not even halfway yet, Gary. Of course there's plenty of time.
And he's got plenty of time.
I think he started something like 21 seconds back on the leader. After the end of lap 1, he's down to 9. So math says he's going to win the race, but human beings sometimes get in the way of math. So we'll see if Instant, Burrell, Attila, Craig, and Matsuda can maybe get back by around Kraus and, challenge the calculations.
And Matsuda is just staying in the draft. Now he pulls out. I think he just pulls out to maybe stay clear when they reach the braking zone.
Yeah, you never quite know. I mean, you never quite know where the other guy is going to brake at.
Yeah.
He knows he's got the tire. He knows he's got the tire advantage on Rashad Craig. So he's good there.
On the button.
Yeah. There he goes. Now you mentioned the button. So the button press here can kind of get you in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, I bet it can.
Because you're using up fuel. So if you're marginal in your fuel number, you got to be careful about that button a little bit.
Well, let's talk about the button real quick. Burrell has 7 presses left. Alex has 6. Arrow has 9. Kraus has 9. Matsuda has 4 left. Craig has been using it up. He still has some pushes left. He's not out, but he's been one of the more aggressive users of the button. He's at 3 left. Our pole sitter Yoni is at 8. Anders Sandberg, is at 6-9 for Brito, who's worked his way into the top 10, and Yuho Rana, who is in 10th spot, has 8.
Now, I'm going to ask Clindy a question here, because there are 2 schools of thought on use of that push to pass. Are you a tactical or strategic user of the push to pass, Mr. Flinders?
Well, I'm really bad at bendy tracks. So Murph, whenever I have the opportunity to pass someone, I'm on the button because it's the only way I can, generally. But if I were to watch an IndyCar race, the drivers who I'm most proud of are the ones who have 1 or 2 push-to-passes left at the very end to defend or pass, the one position that no one thought they would get. So, like, if you're running 5th all day and you have 2 push-to-passes left and you end up with a podium, you did it great. If you're running 1st and you have 1 left at the end of the day and you use it to defend a late race charge on the lead, great, you did it perfectly. The people who disappoint me are the people who end with 10. Well, I mean, maybe they never need to use it because they're football fields ahead of everyone else, or somebody who ran out, at halfway. So I enjoy good push-to-pass management, but I prefer to use it than not.
Every now and then we'll run into the person with 10 that just forgot to map it. They've been at Indianapolis so long, they forgot to map it, and they're like, they get into the car, they don't use it during qualifying because you can't use it during qualifying, right? And they hop in the car in race time and they go hit the button and nothing happens. Kind of like what happened to the rest of the field, except Penske hit theirs and it happened. Yeah. Anyways, sorry. That's. Anyways, but yeah,
that's okay.
if you forget to map it, yeah, you're going to end up with 10.
The reason I brought that up is that the push to pass in the sim is not like it is in real life. So
no.
This car, when it was scanned, you get 10 pushes. In real life,
20 seconons each.
Get on the button whenever,
Yep. You got 200 seconds in real life, and every time you hit the button, it takes away one of those seconds. Yeah. Or what?
So,
the longer you hold on to the button, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
The reason I bring that up is that Road America, along with Watkins Glen, are the 2 tracks that this car runs where you can use it strategically for lap time. If you get on that button at the exit of the carousel and you let it carry you all the way to the brake zone at Canada Corner, you can pick up anywhere between 0.3 of a second in lap time. And so I like to use them here on in and out laps, or my second lap on black tires, because you have to kind of breathe the throttle a little bit going through the kink on the first lap on cold blacks.
And Apparel has made his way around Van de Sant. Sorry. Bad work by the producer not to show that. My apologies.
It's okay. But I like to use it strategically on in and out laps. Anytime I need extra lap time, not necessarily to defend anything, but just to gain the time. This is one of the few tracks that you can use it like that.
Yeah,
and get the maximum effect. I mean, it's always going to make it faster.
Gary and I did the Formula Indy Series just the other day, and they were at Mugello, and that has a really long front straight as well. They were using the push-to-pass there just to cook down the front, whether or not they were in the draft.
Van de Sant pit road.
Just awesome, but
that's right on schedule, by the way. Right on time for Alex. He did his 13 laps on the Reds, and he is now going to exchange those for the preferred blacks. Phil Kraus, by the way, is now right on the tail feathers of Phil Kraus is
Arrow
right on the tail feathers of Arrow until I couldn't get the name out of my face. He is right there. And I look for Phil. He has been consistently half second a lap quicker to go right around until, and here he goes. He's going to dive down the left side.
Arrow just lets him by. We're riding on with Arrow. We hear Arrow just kind of decelerate a little bit earlier just to kind of let him on by.
He did. Now this is a tricky corner coming up here. So you come off of turn 6 and you go through this little miniature kink at turn 7 to blast back down the hill. That is a very difficult
It
corner
is.
there, turn 7.
It is.
A little right-hand flip, the car gets, you kind of come up over a rise, it gets kind of light there. It can be very, very, very difficult. And the kink, which is turn 11, is also one of those that can catch you out. Not just on cold tires, but there's a bump there right at the apex, and if you hit it wrong, it can send you for a wild ride. Rear wing staying on the car notwithstanding. For Catherine Lett. Stuff from Phil. He's driven this thing all the way from the back to, what is it, third? Really fourth, right, once he makes a stop. But heck of a drive for Phil Kraus.
Let's see if he makes that turn down pit road. He's coming off of 14 now. There he is, going to pit road, as well as Arrow and Tella coming with him. Matsuda coming to pit road as well. We're watching a battle here between Yuho and Alan Bruto. Let's see if they both make this run down pit road here as they're coming through Bill Mitchell Bend.
Kevin Burrell has also made his stop. He should be down and away by now.
Both of them on pit road.
Phil's going to start.
Dickey coming to pit
strap
road.
on the reds.
There's Van de Sant and Robert staying out an extra lap. And he's going to try to at least reach the rear wing of his teammate there.
He's going to be healthily in the draft, so good for Robert. Kraus and Tilla and Matsuda rejoin the fight, as Paul Page would say.
And Burrell is your leader, as he picked up the lead after his stop.
Now he is on the red, so it's going to be kind of the opposite of the last stint for Van de Sant. He'll have to bide his time and ride the coattails of the faster car drafting for the first 5 to 6 laps, and then turn the switch on and try to get around Burrell and keep Phil Kraus behind him.
Today's coverage brought to you by
it's gonna be
4D
Kevin,
Race. I got to get in the bills, boys. I got to get in the bills. 4D Racewear. Today's coverage brought to you by 4D Racewear. Check out their made-for sim racing line of gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in today's description. Go ahead, Mr. Murphy.
So it's kind of, you're exactly right. It is the reverse. It's going to be Kevin Burrell's job now to get gone. He wants to get out of that draft envelope of Alex Van de Sant, use up those reds in the first 5 laps. He should potentially be about half a second a lap quicker. So if he wants to get out of that draft envelope, because if Van de Sant can sit in the draft of the Red Shod IR machine, of the Firestone Red Shod red IR car there, the power slide entry is going to blow by him about lap 30, about lap 36, 37,
About
38,
6 or 7
something
laps
like
from
that.
now. Yep. Okay.
And then he's going to have a huge advantage coming to the last stop. I'm actually fairly surprised that Kevin would take the reds there. I would have thought he would have done it. He would have done it last.
Let's reset the field here. Burrell is your leader after now 2 pit stops. Alex Van de Sant is P2. We'll also put up the tire choice for everybody that they've changed to. Number of stops for everybody. Malechka still has 1 stop. He still needs to stop here soon. He's going a little bit longer. We'll show the camera on him. Everybody else, though, for the most part, has completed their second primary stop or scheduled stop. But here is the tire compound situation, and we'll kind of go through the field. So Burrell is your leader. Go back to him. He is on the alternates, as mentioned. Alex Van de Sant is currently holding the purple laps time and lap speed. He is with the primary tire at the moment. Robert Malechka still needing to stop. He is on the primaries. He's probably going to stop next lap at least. Bill Kraus, his teammate. So we got power slide in 2, 3, and 4. Kraus, I take that back. That's a Team Hype private label in 4th spot there. Kraus is been storming up through the field, up 22 spots, as opposed to Robert's 24. I think Robert's been doing it mainly by strategy, whereas Philip's been doing it on pace. I think we could all agree on that one. Robert is on the alternates Phil is on the alternates at the moment. Antilla is currently in P5, and Antilla is on the primary. Matsuda is in P6, and Matsuda is on the primary. In fact, everyone in the remainder of the top 10 is on the primary. Here's Rashad Craig. right currently where he started. Phil Kraus, 143 flat that time by New Purple Lap. So Rashad Craig actually going to make up a spot here. I think Malechka is on pit road. Yes, he is. So move Craig up to 6th. And then here's Joni Heikkinen. Heikkinen also going to get a spot here as Malechka's on pit road. Move Heikkinen up to 7th. Anders Sandberg is in 9th. He's down the front straight. He's going to move past Robert, I believe, and move Sandberg in that Team Watson Racing setup livery into 8th. Brito also getting around Robert. Move him up to 9th. And Reyna also is now in 10th. Seb Alexander is 11th. Ben Dickey is 12th. And Robert Malechka joins after his pit stop in 13th. So he continues to make up a couple of spots every pit stop, Malechka. I think last time he came out, 15th, 16th? And now he's 13th. So maybe we might be looking at a bottom portion of the top 10 here, as if he can keep it up for the remainder of this race. There's Malechka in 13th. 14th is Encinas. And 15th is Musselman. Mussel's on AJ is here on a different strategy, but has worked his way up into 15th. Remainder of the field, here's Oleski. He's in 16th. Brian Carey, 17th. Shimko, 18th there in that plain green wrapper. John Green in 19th. Miguel Vila in 20th there in the M&M's ride. Sam Fitzpatrick in the 21st spot. Miko Koto, who had a really good start right up front, is down 12 spots in 22nd. He's not having a great day and must have had some sort of incident that we did not see in 22nd. Ivan Platten is currently underway still here. He is on the lead lap, is in 23rd, and Hamilton Barrera Ruiz also on the lead lap in 24th. Only 3 cars have retired, guys. It's a lot of traffic out there now.
Yeah, and so I was gonna bring this up too, Gary.
Go ahead.
I think Rob is going. I think Rob is going for the kind of thing that I talked about earlier, where we're going to see somebody go real long and then try to run that last stint short on fuel and with red tires. That seems to be what Rob is doing. He's got 2 laps of a fuel advantage. So if he goes 14 here, that means his last stint is going to be 10 laps on 10 laps with a light fuel load and sticker. Well, he's going to have to go to sticker reds, but he's going to be the guy that's going to be the rocket at the end, driving through these guys. So it'd be interesting to see how much he can make up. 12th now, 40 seconds off the lead. Don't think he's going to get up there with Kevin, Alex, and Phil. But it'll be interesting to see how much further he can make it up this order, because there are, by my estimation, he's got, I don't know. He should easily be able, with that strategy, to make it up to 8th. Right? I don't think that's out of the question.
Six cars within 15 seconds, right? So
I don't think he's got enough juice to get to Joni Heikkinen in 7th. He'd have to be, over a second a lap quicker, and I don't think the Reds are going to hold up that well. But I could see him getting to Anders Sandberg there for sure.
Well, like I said earlier, humans get in the way of math. So, dip a tire off, or maybe Rob just goes Super Saiyan, just puts down a lap of his life, lap after lap. Who knows? We're going to have a 3-car battle for the lead here as Kevin Burrell comes up on a lapper. Hamilton Barrera Ruiz is about to go a lap down on pace, but that might let Van de Sant and Kraus get right to his rear wing.
And again, example of how these teams work on these setups, these bigger teams. And you look who's at the front: IAR, Power Slide, Private Label, Team Hype, 3 of the bigger squads.
I think you could put Phil Kraus in any of the cars on the field and he'd be running just about where he is. That man is so fast.
I'm not saying anything specific, but I've been hearing rumors. No one's given me any hard information, No one's told me anything official. I like to say that people tell me things, or eventually things get to me because we do a lot of these broadcasts, and we see, like, maybe we see trends, or maybe we mention something accidentally, and someone says, well, there's a lot more truth to that than you think. We've been hearing rumors of some of these super team shakeups happening here relatively soon. Let's get to Burrell, who's accounted that lap traffic. I would keep ears open for a lot of people that are involved in this community. I think there's going to be some shakeups. I don't know when. I don't know who. I don't know where. I do think Burrell's one of those. He's one of the early for him. It's like silly season here in the IndyCar, or the iRacing IndyCar community. Burrell's one of those early ones. Yourself, Murph, you kind of got brought into IAR here right before Indy. So did Burrell. So those are kind of the two moves that I knew of after the fact, of course. But there's a number of moves that I keep hearing about between a lot of these teams, that people be moving here, people be moving there, people may not be moving anywhere, may be doing something else. I don't know. But this shows that the community is in flux. A lot of these super teams looking to grow. And then there's also a huge influx because, Clindy mentioned it, there's a lot of new fans of this car. And a lot of new drivers have come into the series that have proved themselves, and some of those people are starting to network with each other. So, team, and there's Alex getting around the lap traffic as well. There's a lot of team action going on right now.
Kraus lost his wing!
Oh, and I want to replay that.
Oh no, it's back!
It's back. It's replaying a little too slow.
Yeah, we got the old netcode special there, Gary. Hamilton Reese trying to stay wide. Phil dove it in. And kind of.
Well, let's watch from.
That's lucky.
Yeah, we'll watch from Phil's point of view here as he's coming down the straight, and I think really just judging by how far back Phil is, I think he saw an opportunity and. He sent it. Watch this. Watch this. Let's just how much he closes this. Whoa. And then the door shuts on him. Oh, no. And the netcode gods reward Kraus with a new wing.
Forsyth, new people so fast. # cry. I feel you, but there's been a lot of shakeups on these teams. There are, I think we can go in the Discord and kind of figure out who's expanding and who's in different places and new faces.
But the thing is, nothing's been announced and no one's told me anything, and I don't want to talk out of turn. But again, I hear things. No one tells me anything specific. If anyone ever did, I'd never tell anybody, because that's just, that's kind of breaking the journalistic rule, of confidentiality. So here is Burrell around another lap car. They're all encountering right there in Canada Corner, which is a really bad. Well, it's not a bad spot, but it's not the best spot. But yeah, you're right. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I see some stuff happening in the Discord channel, but I haven't heard anything official, and I haven't seen any liveries change. That's the big thing. I haven't seen any liveries change.
Yeah, and there were some things that we thought might happen that didn't come to fruition. The big one is, I think the books are closed over at I5G. They're not taking anybody else. Kevin and I were kind of the first two dominoes to fall before Indianapolis, and then I think we're going to see a new mega team emerge here whenever they choose to say it, right? Maybe not official yet.
Here's Alex.
Yeah, so Kevin's Reds are gone. Right on cue.
36. You said 36. You said lap 36, 37. Yeah, you called it.
Right on cue, they're gone now. His job is to stay in the draft his job is going to be to stay in the draft of Alex.
And not lose a spot to Kraus, because Kraus is coming.
Well, Kraus is also
Kraus was also on Red. He's on Reds too.
Kraus is smoking, though. I mean, he's been smoking on whatever type of tire compound he's on. Whatever that formula supposedly Team Hendrick was using, I think might be on Kraus's tires right now. Back in the day, because I don't care what tire he's on. The dude's always fast.
Yes, he is. And he very rarely makes a mistake. That's the other thing. Used to be able, you would have guys that were fast, but you could rely on him to make at least one mistake and get around him. Phil is particularly amazing because he doesn't make many of those. So not only is he fast, but there's just so few mental errors. It's almost like, the scouting report from Iceman in the first Top Gun movie. He wears you down, and you get bored, frustrated, and do something stupid, and he's got you. But he's almost always not only just, again, fast, but he very rarely puts a wheel wrong, and that's
while we're talking about him, and we have not shown this stuff yet, and we have collected this data, so we do want to show the people the point situation for the IIS. Here it is. Phil Kraus is your leader, and he has a pretty commanding point lead over Kevin Burrell. And not in the day's lineup is Pascal Sticks. Again, the best name in the entire series. That is your top three. And then there's a bit of a fall off to what would be like the rest of the group. So Hilgard is, despite winning last week in Detroit, is in fourth. Roseboro is fifth. His teammate as Beta Fuhrer there is in sixth. Alex Vandesant is seventh. Matsuda is eighth. Will Weiser ninth. Andrew Marquez 10th. There's a remainder of your top 16 there in the standings. Most are in the lineup today. Most are going to try to get some points and move up in the championship. But that is what's going on. Phil Kraus not only looking to dominate the weekend, but also looking to put a more of a exclamation point on his season point lead here in the IIS.
Yeah, and Kevin's really, Pascal Six is kind of there a little bit, but Kevin Burrell really is the only one that's been able to stay even remotely close to Phil, and it's even then 100 points. You do not see my name on that list, obviously. These are mostly road courses, and so you won't see me up there. Track have right turn bad. So
Murph on the Ed Carpenter schedule for the IIS.
That's right. I think I won a division in this thing a couple of years ago, and I only did like 4 ovals. I only did like the 4 ovals, but I did so well at the 4 of them, I still scored enough points to win a division. Burrell hanging tough now.
We're watching Burrell. We're watching Burrell.
Yeah, Kevin's hanging tough. He's got the draft. He's got Phil right on his rear, but their job is just to stay put now. I think both those guys have a little bit more pace than Alex. So we'll see.
And next pit stops are not that far away, to be honest.
No, so the number to get to, the number to get to is you want to stop at 41 or 40. 41 if you're on. Yeah, Kevin's just saying on the radio his tires are gone.
And here comes Phil. And I think Kevin just wisely let him go.
Yeah, they're talking about it on the radio chat in the race. Obviously, both of them in their respective discords too. But that was kind of a funny exchange. Kevin said tires gone. Phil said meep meep, and then the next corner, Phil Kraus goes through in the second, and he will start to chase down Alex Vandesant, leading if he can. Don't know how much juice those Reds have left in them, though.
He's right on the tail of the draft envelope. If he can get a whiff of it down this long backstretch, he might be able to keep himself in position to also be in the draft for the King outside of the carousel.
Ooh, Kevin Burrell.
Whereas the second I go to an in-car camera, something happens.
Yeah, Kevin Burrell's rear tires are essentially trashed at this point. He almost lost it in turn 3. Matter of fact, I thought he was going to lose it, and he snatched it back from the edge of disaster. But Kevin Burrell, that lap 41 or 42 pit stop cannot come soon enough for the number 2. Phil's car looks a little bit more stable, but his Reds have got to be gone as well.
So it's Van de Sant, Kraus, Burrell, your top three, and Tilla, Matsuda, Craig. That is 4th, 5th, and 6th. Heineken 7th. Sandberg 8th. Seb Alexander 9th. Your teammates is currently right where he started, but right with him is Robert Malechka, who is now up 17 spots. He has made his way into the top 10 guys. Ooh, battle between Boutreau and Reyna side by side. Contact. And Reyna just pushes Boutreau off in the 8th.
Yeah, he almost drove through that like he drove through that like he wasn't even there.
He just checked him twice.
Pushed him. Yeah, don't quite know what all that was about.
So let's ride with him. So the inside, he's got the spot on the inside. He didn't really push wide, so I don't think he was maybe Reyna thought he was playing dirty, so he tries to squeeze him 1 tap, 2 tap, 3 tap, and there you go. I don't know. If I was Boutreau, I'd be a little upset right there. I think Boutreau gave plenty of room on the corner exit going in and out of 7. But maybe Reyna thought that he didn't and decided that he was going to squeeze him going into 8 there, and also tried to widen his turn. And in the meantime, triple checked Bruto into the kitty litter.
Yeah, that whole thing started up at turn 6, and then went through 7 and ended in the kitty litter for Alan Boutreau, who was having a fine race.
Yeah, he won one of the. It wasn't a televised split, but it was another driver that was streaming in it that I watched, and he won it. I think it might have been a second or third, at least a second split, because Boutreau has a high rating. And he's got a victory this weekend, albeit in a lower split. So we know that he's definitely got the skill set not to be driving off into the kitty litter by himself, but he was definitely checked.
Yeah, like I said, I think that whole thing started up at 6, and then kind of carried through. I think what you're gonna have is Reyna's gonna say, look, he ran me wide at 7, so I just ran him out of room at 8. Is what the explanation is going to be there. Also, I thought Boutreau was struggling a little bit on tires, and I thought Reyna had the advantage, so he was wanting to get through there. Now Phil's dropping off into the dirt and slinging some dust. So
getting a bit of a lag here on the stream here.
I had the same issue when I was trying to watch Boutreau and Reyna's incident. I couldn't have Boutreau on my screen from anywhere between the 2 corners until he was in the sand trap. So
I think there might be something iRacing network related going on here, because
well, not only that, but these televised top splits, they draw people from all over the world. You've got Alex Van de Sant, who I believe is in Atlanta, right?
Yeah, but he's former from the area here in Indianapolis. But yeah, he's down in Atlanta now working.
Right. So you got Atlanta. Philip Kraus also, I believe, North Carolina.
Yeah, he's in the Carolinas, and we're blinking again. So I'm not sure what's going on.
Japan.
Kevin
Burrell's the most solid, of course. He's in Japan.
Yeah.
We've got Finland, Central
and they're
America.
all coming to pit road. Sorry about that. In the event that this stream should stop and drop for whatever reason, we're just going to end it there. Especially we're getting later into this race. It's kind of, by the time we pick it back up and launch a new stream and everything, this race will practically be over and we load back in. So in the event that we do, this lag turns into a drop, we are just going to end it right there.
I think we're a lot more solid now. Kevin Burrell really hard in the pit lane, smoked all 4 tires.
Yeah, watching him right there. Here comes Van de Sant. Here comes Kraus. Van de Sant off in time. Kraus is now in second. He maintains second. Burrell going to maintain third. We're going to check what tires they're on.
think Van de Sant had a great pit stop. I think he came in about 2 seconds ahead of Kraus, and I think he's about 2.5, maybe 3 now.
Yeah, he was on
that's
pit
a big
road.
enough lead.
He was on pit road 39.6, in the box 9.6. Bill Kraus on pit road 40.1, so he was slower on pit road overall, and but he was slightly faster in the box by about 0.2. So, but the way it works out is that Van de Sant comes out with a pretty increased lead. Good call on seeing that, by the way.
I think that's a big enough lead where he can manage it. You know, he can give up 1/10, 2/10 every lap, and hold Kraus off. It's not like he's going to be playing defense the whole time. If you go toe to toe, match his lap time, he's not in your draft. Like, I think this is Van de Sant's race to lose. It's no longer Kraus's in the bag. Human error got in the way of math.
As a Ball State
here
graduate,
comes
I don't like math
Arrow.
anyway.
Here's Arrow until hitting pit road. As you heard the pit road alarm alerter, alarm alerter, whatever.
Always reminds
Alert
me of
alarm.
Star Wars. Klaxon that they play in the
Well,
Imperial bases.
And he's going to have to. Arrow is going to have to take reds. He has not yet done so. Matsuda, according to my information, has not taken his red tires either. I don't think Matsuda has. I think Matsuda may be facing a DQ here. I'm sure he's taking.
No, he's going to reds right now.
Okay,
there he goes. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe he decided I'm just going to save it to the end.
Yeah, and that's that's clearly what Rob is going to do based on the math. I was interested to see Van de Sant, Burrell, and Kraus, the front runners, do their red stints in the middle of the race. I would have thought they would have either gotten them out of the way or saved in the last. So that was interesting to see.
If I put myself in the head of Van de Sant or Kraus, I would think that I wouldn't want to finish on the reds if I haven't been saving fuel, because that makes me vulnerable, right? I want to be on the best tire that gives me the best option to make up time, defend, or push at the end of the race when, quote, it really matters. I always think that that's kind of a baloney way to phrase the last stint of the race. Obviously, you have more time to make up a mistake if you make it early. Right? So if you are on the reds, you're not as fast as you want to be. Maybe you can make that time back up on the blacks at the end.
Gotcha. And a good sausage reference to a track where we have a lot of bratwurst is consumed here.
Did we ever get Matthew Broderick out here to be the sausage king of Chicago?
Let's get some bills paid here real quick. If you're just joining us, you're watching round, and we're still blinking here. That's bothering me. You're watching. Actually, let's get this again. Once again, if you're just watching us, you're watching coverage sponsored by 40 Racewear of the Saturday top split of the IndyCar iRacing Series, coming to you from Road America, where Alex Van de Sant leads with about 11 laps to go. Thanks for joining us. Make sure, if you have not done so already, we really could use your donations. Our GoFundMe link is in the description. We rely on your donations to bring these races to you, to help compensate not just for getting licenses and cameras and artwork done, but also, I gotta pay these guys for giving riveting color commentary, because they make me look good, just like Mark made all of us look good when he called that'll be lap 36 when Alex would catch Burrell, and he did. Clindy making us look smart too as well. So yeah, make sure that they give these guys a little bit of a reward. A donation is greatly appreciated. And thanks for joining us. Next race in 2 weeks, Laguna Seca. I can't remember a last time in an IndyCar schedule where they've had Laguna Seca in the middle of the season. Normally it's at the end.
Well, it's not going to be any
course, no
greener
longer
out
the
there.
finale.
No. That's true.
It always throws me when you see like pictures of testing from Sonoma and Laguna Seca in the spring.
In the spring.
when
Yeah,
everything
like February,
when
March.
Yeah, when everything's green. Robert Malechka coming to pit road to make his final stop, so he's going to give up 4th.
Yeah, we'll see where he pops out.
Now he's clearly going to be on the red tires, so he's done the alternate thing where he's gone long and cut the last inch short. Should have a shorter pit stop because he's not going to need all the fuel.
On the reds, and the King of Indy is down and away.
I'll be interested to see if he can catch Rashad Craig. I think that's an achievable goal. He's a bit up the way on the road now. He's just exiting turn 1. So it'll be about a 10-second gap. He's got to make up about a second a lap here to catch Craig. It'll be a Herculean feat, but if there's anyone who can do it, it's the King of Indy.
He's going to be vulnerable to Sebastian Alexander.
He's out at 9th, and yes, Seb Alexander's right behind him. We're going to watch this battle as it develops. Seb on the nice, hot, prime tires. Robert still on the alts coming up to temperature, but they should be fully up to temperature by the time he gets to certainly the carousel, I think. So we'll see if Seb can catch him in that time.
They're almost good now. It takes the fronts, depending where you have your brake bias, the rears are going to come in pretty quick. The fronts usually don't come in until the carousel. The carousel will warm anything up.
Yeah, I'm about to say, that's kind of why I called out the carousel. I figured if they're not warm there, they're not going to be warm at least for another lap or so.
It's very true. And so Rob has successfully navigated that. He is a couple of seconds clear of Seb Alexander. And he'll start hunting down Andrew Sandberg, who is 9th.
Yeah, Sandberg is 8th right now.
8th.
Right there, and he's coming into Canada corner. There he is. And he is within view of Robert. There is Robert right there. I don't think Seb is going to catch Robert. He's trying.
Not with him on the reds, no. Kraus is getting closer to Van de Sant, though. He's got the gap down to 2 seconds. He's taken a second and a half out of it. But he's basically back to where he was before the pit stops.
Okay. Well, we're on the cameras on it. Bill Hunter says rain needs to be next for iRacing IndyCar. I would love to see that. I'd love to see it before the Pro Series takes off and make the Pro Series debut with possible weather situation.
That'd make us look like a bunch of clowns, I think.
What's that?
I think we need to ask Will Power about rain in Indy cars on ovals. He would be the person to make that call.
Yeah, we obviously know they're not going to race in rain on ovals. I'm talking about the Pro Series when they go to their first road course.
Oh, I think that would be a great thing. Rob, whoa, lights the left front up, getting down into turn 5. He is pushing hard. He knows he's got to go right now, and this is going to be his best lap. Had he not locked up there, this could have been a purple lap. He was up on fill on time until he did that.
Clindy, what'd you say about clowns or something?
Oh, I'd say having rain the first week of the Pro Series would make us all look like clowns. No one would. Half the field would not know what they're doing. Would not have practiced.
I think. I think the Pro Series will be made up partially of a lot of the guys you see here. But I think the paid regular, the guys that are the paid pro sim racers that are in other leagues are going to come over here and try out the car. I don't think they're going to be initially successful in the car that they think they will, because with all the additional changes you got to make in the car. I think the only people that will do real well in these cars to start off are the endurance racers that are like in the LMP cars that do have anti-roll bars and brake bias and engine mappings and that type of thing. But I don't think necessarily the Pro Series NASCAR guys are going to necessarily come over here and do very well in the first couple races until they get down the weight jacker and the roll bar bit, and that's a more of an intuition thing. It's not necessarily a setting thing. It's an intuition. I need a little bit more here, a little less here on driver preference. But I do think that whoever from this series, and currently right now I consider IIS the top series until Pro Series comes out. I do expect to see some of these guys go over the Pro. Not all of them, but some of them.
I mean, it's worth a shot, right? You get the VCO series coming up, which is kind of like the private preview to that. I know Kevin Bro was doing a lot of qualifying for that. He thinks he's going to make the show. You know, I don't know about Clindy, but for me, it's going to be pretty simple in the pro side. What's the schedule consist of? Because if it's, you know, if we get an oval or two in the first couple of races, you know, I feel like I've got a shot at it. But if it's 4 twisties,
Heyo Matsuda pit road.
you know, that's going to be really tough for me.
Gotcha.
Again, I don't know what Kyle's situation is. I would hope it's
if
2
the
ovals.
twisties, yeah, if it's 2 ovals at the beginning, I'm going to be top 5 in the leaderboard, right? I'll be all smiles. And if we get Watkins Glen as well, like that's a track that I can actually race at because it is an oval. Just most of the turns are right.
Yeah, the winner here. I mean, if this or Watkins Glen is on the schedule, then you know, absolutely perfect. But if it's, you know, if it's
Malechka getting around. Heyo Matsuda for coming off a pit road. Here comes Sandberg. Sandberg gets around as well. So Matsuda on his last stop falls to 9th. Now move Anders Sandberg and Malechka up to 7th and 8th now.
You know, but if it's one oval and then, you know, Detroit, Laguna Seca, and, you know, Road Atlanta or something, you know, it would be really difficult for somebody like me now. And I anticipate that Pro Series is going to be a big team fight. You know,
yeah.
Gary alluded to realignment going on. That's the reason that teams are realigning, is because they see that 50,000 out there, and we're trying to get our ducks in a row to get the best guys, especially for the oval rounds. You get to Michigan, and we've all experienced it as independents. You get to Michigan and you've got a wall of power slide and I-5G in front of you. It doesn't matter. You know, you've got to have some friends or you're not going anywhere. And so, you know, you've got to really be, you've got to have some friends in order to make those things happen. Malechka has gotten past and gotten gone from Anders Sandberg.
Yep.
He just did a green lap, 1:43.999. He is 2 seconds a lap quicker than Joni Heikkinen, who is about 8 seconds up the road from Rob. So he's gonna have to continue getting while the getting is good. But those reds are gonna start to fade here. He's been out now 3 laps, so he's probably only got
7
3
to go.
really more good ones. He's probably only got 3 or 4 really good ones left, so he's gonna get to Joni. Matsuda back on pit lane, so move Malechka up to 7.
Kraus under a second now to Van de Sande.
Very quietly reeled him in, hasn't he, Gary?
He has. And it's going to be a very impressive, not quite worst to first, but 24 spot improvement. Let me give you, as we get down into the final stages here, again, thanks for everybody for joining us. Again, if you have not donated, please, we survive on your donations. Make sure to hit our GoFundMe and send us a little bit of a donation if you can. If you enjoy today's coverage, we certainly would appreciate it. But I do want to report what we got for push to pass situation. Van de Sande has 5, Kraus has 5, Burrell has 7, and Tilla has 8. Rashad Craig still has 3, so he is conserved since we last reported that to you. He had 3 last time, still has 3 now. Heikkinen has 8, 2 for Robert Malechka, 3 for Matsuda. Sandberg has 4, and Seb Alexander is down to 1, and he is Winchester after that.
I'm excited to see what lines Van de Sande decides to run. Kraus has been tipping his inside tires basically onto the curb or into the grass whenever he can to take the shortest, smallest line. And also here into turn 5, he kicks his right sides out, out past
how that isn't an out of bounds anymore, I don't know. I used to be, and it's not anymore. But you know what? Hey, look, if it's not in the rule and you're not doing it, then you're not trying, right?
So realism, Gary. That's in that's where they drive the cars, and so they have taken the 1X away from that particular corner. You know, kind of reminds you of racing these cars at COTA when these cars went to Circuit of the Americas.
I wish they'd go back. I wish they would go back. I don't want to
Yeah,
see
they
a lot
didn't
of
have-
I don't want to see a lot of road courses added back to the schedule, but that's one I do want to see.
You know, they need to get the Texas situation figured out. Clearly, there's a fan base out there. Clearly,
I don't think we're returning to
to.
Texas Motor Speedway.
Well, which is a shame because the
Because-
renovations.
I think Eddie Goss is just going to do everything he can.
Oh, Kraus just power sliding
Well,
it off of 14 there. And we got traffic. We got traffic. Do we got traffic? Right ahead here of this battle is AJ Musselman.
AJ's a good guy. I think he'll pull over here when they get to the next straight.
Yeah,
I
he
was going to
is.
say
Before that.
AJ he already is. AJ's not going to be the guy that's going to insert himself into the battle for the win. Don't know Miguel Vila though, right? I'm not familiar with him. I would assume if you're at this level and you've got a 3,700 I rating, you're familiar enough to know, hey, it's the leaders are coming. Let's pull over.
Well,
He's going to be getting blue flags.
He has a 1.28 safety rating. An A record, but an A license, but a 1.28 safety rating.
Which means that A license is going to be going away here at the end of week 13. He will lose that when the new season pops open. You got to maintain over a 2. Not that it matters here because these are B license races anyway.
And now we're watching this battle between Van de Sant and Kraus. Kraus is there. Doctor is in. House calls are being made. 5 laps to go.
Now that lapper up there,
Yep, go ahead.
Miguel Vila is helping Alex Van de Zandt.
Yes, he
I
is.
think Phil is quicker, but having that lapper up there is providing some draft. Miguel Vila is kind of towing Alex along, and it's going to make it that much more difficult for Phil. Here he comes. Now Alex is going to move to defend. He's going to make him go the long way around.
Now Phil has a draft. We're going to both go in the one.
We're going to go down in there.
And Phil gets it done. And that might be
He has tried it.
That might be your pass for the win.
Not quite done yet.
No,
So,
it's not done
getting
yet. That
around-
might be. Here comes Alex coming back.
It depends on what Miguel does here. If he keeps running at the pace he is and online, Alex is going to have another chance to get back around Kraus.
That's why I say that lapper there is an interesting conundrum for the leader who is second in line. Because
Okay, now he moves over.
you want that, and here goes me. Yeah. It's an interesting conundrum because that's going to make the leader almost a sitting duck. If Van de Zandt can stay close coming off the carousel here, he's going to have a massive run down a Canada corner. I would anticipate both of them on the button here, actually, coming out of the carousel.
Waiting to see that light up. Neither one of them on the button yet.
Oh, they won't be now. They would have pressed it already.
Now, as you see in the tree, that you see several numbers lighting up next to drivers, and that's when they go on push to pass and how many button pushes they have left. Unfortunately, it only works for people in 11th on down, so me and my developer are trying to debug that to get it to work for the top 10. The overlay is a constant work in progress.
And your donations go to help improve
Yeah,
it.
it does, really. Yeah, your donations do. These overlays are not cheap.
So if you want to see correct information displayed on your television screen, you can hit that GoFundMe. And Gary will put it to good use, believe me.
That is for sure.
Well, Van de Sant just had a whole bunch of opposite lock. If he would have come off that turn 2 cleanly, he would have had a big run, but that's why he had the lock. He was going too fast with the rears.
Sometimes that'll happen here. Way over to the right there, going down into turn 5. Make that hard left, come back up the hill.
Yeah, up the hill.
Alex
Look at
is
this
not-
blind left-hander, though. It's just like, oh, turns there already. Okay. Get a little bit of a runoff area. Here's that turn 7 that you were talking about. That happens really quickly. Down to 8. 8 kind of really reminds me of 5, but just not as long of a run down to it. And into the carousel. I guess this might be the original carousel for the North American tracks, although there are 2 other North American tracks now that have actually, I think now 3 other. Yeah, he is watching right now. I think there's 3 other North American tracks that have a set of corners they call the carousel. Mid-Ohio has one. We're watching it right now. I think Mid-Ohio has one. I think Sonoma has one, and I think does Watkins have one right after the bus stop?
Yes.
They call it the carousel? Yeah. Watching Alex up the hill on the push-to-pass button. Smoke 'em if you got 'em.
I think he might go back-to-back. I think he's going to do it out of turn 2 as well. And then from there, he's going to be all defense if he can get back around Kraus. Now, don't light up the rears here, Alex. Keep it nice and straight.
Very tidy exit.
Much better.
Kinda,
Not on the button.
That was a lot better than it was before. It was a lot better than it was before.
Yep, it was.
He was. I'm in car with Alex, and he definitely twitched a little bit. All right, so here's where you have to set this move up. Right, you're gonna have to get good off of 6, keep it on the mat through 7, down to 8. You want to be right on his gearbox when you get to the carousel, because you're gonna have to have the drive. You have to slingshot him.
Lap traffic. Shimko, yep.
Yeah, we got Shimko, and that's just gonna help. That's just gonna help Phil if he can get to that draft. It kind of negates the advantage of Alex being second. Not on the button here for Van de Zandt coming down the backstretch toward Canada corner.
Coming to the white flag lap. I don't want to throw the white flag in yet for Van de Zandt, but depending on what this lapper does, he might still have a chance down the front.
How many more pushes does he have, Gary?
Alex has 2. Phil has 2.
So
2 in the draft better than 2 in clean air. Here's 1.
And Shimko wants to try to stay on the lead lap too. He's gone 55 laps by trying to stay on the lead lap. He doesn't really want to pull over for this. I don't blame him.
Phil might. Down the inside, Phil Kraus. Van de Zandt's going to arrive on the scene here. Will Shimko get out of the way? He gets out of the way. On the third turn 3, second gear. Alex Van de Zandt almost lights the rear tires up. Bit opposite lock, grabs it, catches the car, headed down now toward that turn 5 and 6 complex. This area known as turn 4, but it's not really a turn. Down the hill to turn 5. All the way over the curves, just braking hard.
That's only a couple more passing zones after that. Alex lighting them up, coming off of 5, straightens it out or through 6.
I don't think VDS feels the need to bring back any rubber, fuel, or push-to-pass presses.
They both have 1 left. I would assume they will use it going down the straight into Canada corner. In the carousel now for the final time. Kraus looking to go 3 for 3 out of the 4 races so far. Well, actually 3 races out of the 3 races so far of the IIS here at... Yeah, we almost saw him go wide there. Coming into Canada corner. There's going to be 1 more race after this. We'll see if Phil can go 4 for 4 after the fact. Coming through Bill Mitchell. Coming to the last and final corner. We might be a good luck charm for Phil because the last couple races he's been on and when we've been broadcasting, he's brought it to victory lane, including the open split, top split of the Indy 500. He's going to win here in the IAS 1 more time here on Racehurst.
Nice job to Phil Kraus. Alex Van de Zandt going to bring it home second. Looking for Kevin Burrell.
There he is. Burrell brings her home third. And Tilla making their first race in the top split. Welcome. Hope to see you back. Fourth. And Rashad Craig, your teammate, your other teammate. So 2 IAR cars in the top 5. Watching Craig come through Bill Mitchell area. And now up into 14 up the hill for the final time to clinch the 5th spot. And might also look like IAR cars might be 3 of them in the top 10. So great job by your squad.
How about that? Molechka coming home 7th. Didn't quite get to Joni Rob's tires went off pretty hard at the end. He cooked those reds to the point where he was in the 145 fours coming home. Leaders at 146.
Almost caught him back.
Yeah, he cooked. He got all he could out of those red tires for sure. But the Power Slide Machine will come home seventh. Everybody bringing home. Seb Alexander, 10th. What a nice run for him.
All right.
Any day where Seb doesn't have bad luck is a good day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can be snake bit. Brian Carey going to bring it home a fine 14th from 19th on the grid. Well done to him. Sam Fitzpatrick, 15th.
Trying
Jason
to.
Green's going to bring it along the line in 16th. Everybody else a lap down.
All right. So let's get in today's final standings and. Phil Kraus is your winner, up 25 spots to the 3-stopper. Only led 4 laps, but hey, you know what? The 4 that matter at the end is your winner. So he is 3 for 3 in already 3 races. Just keep in mind when you do when the IIS runs the week they run, of course, with the same week as NTT IndyCar Series in real life, there's only 4 races. So they have one on Wednesday night, they have one on Friday afternoon. Early Friday evening, like at 4 p.m. Eastern, and then they have the 2 o'clock here on Saturday, and they have another one later tonight. So only 4 sessions for the IIS per race week, and Phil's won 3 of them. He is first. Van de Sant led 25 laps on a 3-stopper and finished second. Kevin Burrell on a 3-stopper. So everyone did a 3-stopper here. Kevin Burrell finished leading 20 laps in third. Antilla, welcome to the top split. Finishes 4th. Rashad Craig 5th. Heikkinen finished 6th, starting from the front row. So his strategy kind of didn't work out for him, but he did lead early for 5 laps. Robert Molechka started from pit road and proved 20 spots to finish in the top 10 here in 7th. Sandberg finished right where he started. Sounds like a Van Halen song. That's Finish What You Started. Anyways, that's P8. Heyo Matsuda, another top 10 for Heyo. We see a lot of top 10s very consistently here from Matsuda. He finishes 9th today. Seb Alexander in 10th. Moving on, Juho Reina, after that little incident with Brutto, comes home 11th, and Cenas is 12th. Brutto is 13th. Would have been interesting to see what happened if Brutto ever got his way back up to Reina. We might see if there's any chatter after the race on that one. Carey 14th, Fitzpatrick's 15th, Green 16th, Simcoe 17th. Selenev, again, I'll play Selenev, is 18th. Muscleman, the muscle man, he is in 19th. Koto is in 20th. Not a good start for them, but welcome to the top split. Lost 10 spots, but hopefully we'll see you back, and maybe it was just a different strategy that just didn't work out this time for a 20th place finish. Ivan Platon, finishes 21st in his first appearance in the top split. Miguel Vila, 27th. Hamilton Barrera Ruiz, and their first race, I believe, in a while here in the top split. Welcome. Finishes 23rd. Ben Dickey, 24th. Simon DeMori, in their first race here in the top split. Welcome. 25th. John McHutchinson finishes 26th, and unfortunately, your friend and mine, Jesper Orman, finishes shotgun on the field. Just not a good day for Jesper, getting caught up in an incident. Finishes 27th. I'm sure that's a finish that he would like to forget.
Yeah, and so I kind of wanted to do something that we don't often do here, but take a minute to recognize the other people that raced today. So Andrew Kinsella won the second split, a well-known figure in the iRacing IndyCar circles, and the third split won by none other than Jason Brophy in the 23 machine. Beats out Raphael Eckert, a couple of names that our Tuesday night fans would be familiar with. The fourth split down, taken by Guillermo Lewis. Sophia Connell would be in second in that one. Tony Salomon was your winner in the fifth split. Sixth split taken by Nadim Ozun. The seventh race with a strength of field of 1664, Anthony Obrata. The eighth split, Wesley Butler. Ninth was Jordan Hurley. The 10th race is not yet finished, and so we don't have any results from those. But congratulations to everybody who raced today and won. Anytime you finish one of these up front, it is an achievement. So kudos to all of them.
Well, finishing third today, Kevin Burrell is in the booth with us. Kevin, talk about your race. Led some laps there, and just a strategy that didn't pan out because tires looks like they got away from you, didn't they?
I mean, I tried. I'm sure you could obviously see it was a very troll low downforce set, and honestly, the pace was for running many clicks less a wing than most people. The pace was pretty good. Straight line was good, and even when the tires started to fall off, I mean, you're talking like gaining 0.5, 0.6 back in a straight. So really, I mean, the only issue was at the point where like I was truly losing like almost a second in like half a lap. It was good. I mean, me and VDS kind of worked together to not slow each other down early on, and that kept us away from P4 and onwards. But yeah, it's hard, when you're competing against ultra hyper power slide. Like P3, I'm like, all right, man, all right. I'm
almost
lucky.
feel like it's best in class. I'm
lucky to get a podium at all in the broadcast here now, but yeah, it was fun, and there was a certain appeal to blasting through people with having like 15 kilometers an hour more top speed. And I don't know, it's funny because I went up a little bit downforce in testing something intermediate, and it was way worse. So it turns out that having like nothing or all the downforce was the way to go. But I went nothing and probably paid the price for it. I don't know if the result would have been that different, but at least it was really fun, and it did let me get through other cars at the start. So,
well, that's good. Up
Yeah,
next,
buddy, you look like.
Go right ahead, Mark. Follow up.
I was going to say, buddy, you look like you were having fun. Nice P3, way to wave the flag. You did? I said at the beginning of the show that people were either going to start or finish on the Reds, and nobody at the front did that. Kind of talk me through the process of what you were thinking about, when to put those things on, and when to go for the unpreferred tire.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, the big thing here is obviously, we're fuel saving to make it a 3-stopper instead of 4. So you got to run 3 14s and a 13. And of course, because the outlap here is like, it uses like half a lap of fuel almost. It means that it's going to be easier to get that, the 13 lap is probably better done on the stint where you also have to drive the outlap. So there's an argument for starting and not getting bullied at the start on alts. Or, you could save it and just try and basically build the gap on the preferred tire as much as possible, as long as possible, and then throw them on at the end. But I think if you're in a situation where you have to fight, knowing you had to run the full stint, you got to run a full stint on the alts. If that's going to be your final stint, that's not so pleasurable situation. You just immediately get passed. So, some people went on at the front. They went on the second stint on alts. Some went on the third. I should have done the second because the track temp was lower. Would have been nice. But, I mean, I think the difference was not too large. But yeah, I mean, that's why, even though there might be an obvious reason to take him at the start or the end, in reality, there's also just as many reasons to not do it. So.
Gotcha. Well, howdy to everybody in your stream. Say hello to the boys down there for me. Clindy, you got any questions for the man in the number 2?
I think Clindy might have had a domestic that needed to get taken care of there. So my last question is we got 2 weeks to Laguna Seca. We know that's a track that's reasonably friendly to you. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's one of the few tracks that I've ever really brought it to, Trano and some others at. So we're definitely going to be trying to dial in the set a little more, dial in the driving. Of course, IAR brought some new people on, and Sam's been already looking at the set for Laguna, and it's really good. I mean, I think it's good, when you're working with people that you can trust to, help out. It's good, and I think, I don't know, we're already strong there, and hopefully we'll be even stronger. I guess we'll see.
All right, shout-outs, friends, families, teammates, sponsors. Go right ahead. You know the drill.
Yeah, of course. Yep. IR, of course, IR guys. And obviously, even though we may no longer be teammates, Christian and Crane, they help me all the time, and it's just it's fun to have some good guys to race with. Now as rivals, it's really fun. And anyone watches the stream, it's been really good. Thanks, guys, and of course to you, because it's great. It's fun.
You got it. Good to have you here. Congratulations on the P3. We'll catch you in 2 weeks. Laguna Seca.
Yeah, see you around. Have a good one.
See ya. And no Phil and no Alex. Shame on you, Alex. Alex, you know where we're at. Alex is a former Team Race First driver a long time ago. Giving us the old cold shoulder. Alex, come on, man. Anyways, guys, today's winner is Phil Kraus. Did the big run from 25th up to 1st. I think kind of mid-race, Clindy called it, that this was going to kind of be his race. I think, Murph, I think you were pretty quick to agree if certain things would happen. We saw those certain things happen. He got up to the lead and then pulled away, so he's 3 for 3 on the weekend already. One more race to go. We'll see if he'll do a clean sweep.
Yeah, I mean, I was very pleasantly surprised at how this situation played out with the boys at the front. Usually, Road America, even with 27 cars, can get pretty spread out in these long full distance races. And in this one, we had 3 guys in pretty close contact for the lead for most of it. Fantastic duel at the end between Phil and Alex. Kudos and well done to them. Great job for Kevin in 3rd. A highly entertaining race to think your way through. We keep talking about that, Gary, how I like races where you have to think your way through them, and this was absolutely one of those. And so well done to everybody in the field. We only had the one incident, which unfortunately claimed Jesper, but just, again, an entertaining race, and I look forward to Tuesday night, my man. We're going to Michigan.
Yeah, Oval Series opens up week 1 at Legacy Bumpy, Michigan. You can join us in that action, 8:15 p.m. Eastern. It'll be myself and Stephen Larkamp, Justin Petschauer, and the infamous LGN all in the booth for that one. And that's kicking off week 1 of season 3 of 2024. But this does it for at least this round of the 2024 season of the IIS. As like I said, we got Laguna Seca coming up. Clindy's not back yet, but we'll go ahead and call it out. So that's it for today. Once again, your podium here from Road America. Phil Kraus, your winner. Alex Van de Sant finishes 2nd. Kevin Burrell finishes 3rd. It should be Antonio, Ryan, and myself again next in 2 weeks for round 9 of the IIS. If it's not, we'll have replacements. We always do. We'll figure it out. As the teams head to a really rare mid-season race at Laguna Seca. I can't remember the last time I've seen the NTT IndyCar Series schedule Laguna Seca in the middle of the season, but this is one of them. Coverage should be. Go ahead, Clindy. This is Justin.
Yeah, if I may correct you on that, the last time that happened was 20 years ago, 2004 for Champ Car.
Okay, I know it's been a while. It's been, like I said, very rare. To 2004. Cool. Let's see. Coverage, as always, should begin about 2 p.m. Eastern time. And again, it's 2:00 p.m. Eastern. If you're just confused, don't know what time it's starting in your area, just check the channel, and it'll tell you the time in your area. We love bringing these races to you, but not easy and require time and money to produce. So if you share our passion for the sport of IndyCar and enjoyed our coverage of the iRacing or the IndyCar iRacing Series, please take time to visit our GoFundMe page. The link is in the description, and donate to the 2024 Broadcast Fund, or to our 2024 Broadcast Fund. We realize times are tough, so any contribution will be greatly appreciated. We thank you for watching and making us part of your Saturdays during NTT IndyCar race weeks. Again, we really rely on your donations, and if you're a participant and or just watching and like what you see, send us a donation, would you? We really would appreciate it. Let's see. The naming rights for the Top Split broadcast brought to you by 4D Racewear. Check out their made-for-sim racing line of gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in today's description. Track cams for this race are provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. Whiplash exclusively provides us sim cams for the entire 2024 calendar year. Get the most out of your iRacing experience with Whiplash sim cams. Learn more about Whiplash, like them on Facebook, or follow them on Twitter. The links are in the description. All of our Twitter handles are on the page right here. The big important ones, I'll circle them. These are ones right here. That's the big important ones. Those are the commentators, and you want to get to know those guys. That's for sure. Those are the important ones. Myself, Clindy, Antonio, Ryan. Do please follow us. We would appreciate it. So let's see. We got myself, and we have Clindy, and we have Mark, and we have Justin popping up here, and just everyone else here that's been involved with the broadcast. Thank you for watching, and to all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders. Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Make sure to catch the real stars in cars as the NTT IndyCar Series this Sunday for the Expel Grand Prix at Road America. You can follow all the action on the Peacock app. You can watch on your local NBC affiliate or join Mark Janes and the gang on the IndyCar Radio Network on Sirius XM Channel 215. Be sure to check your local listings for the correct broadcast times and availability in your area. You can catch us again in 2 weeks at Laguna Seca for the next race of the IndyCar iRacing Series. See ya!